I'm making braised lamb neck chops in a plum sauce. So far, I've finally diced an onion and de-seeded a chilli. Now let's finish it off. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick with the ginger. You want to remove all the skin. Now use a spoon. It sounds crazy, but you'll get least amount of wastage. And all you want to do is just peel it all around. And you can get quite rough with it if it's quite stiff and hard to get off. So peel as much as you need. And then I'm going to just microplane it in. So while that's heating, you can feel that the heat's coming up now. Just splash a bit of oil in. And now for our rosemary, straight from the garden. It smells beautiful. Now I've cut it really fine, and you don't want to have the sticks or the twigs in. You want to get rid of all those, pick the leaves and chop it up nice and fine. The worst thing you could ever happen is getting a mouthful of sticky, woody rosemary. Now for the onion, chili, garlic, oh, that's nice and hot. Now remember what I said, don't burn the onions. We just want to make sure that they're nice and translucent, which means that they just come see-through. You don't want to brown them. So mix that in. Okay, now for the ginger, grate that in. Now I like to use these awesome little microplanes because they finely grate everything so you don't have big chunks in. And they're super sharp. New Zealand garlic. Now I love to use local, so grab New Zealand products. Nice and fresh. The garlic is super strong. And this will roughly take, say, 3 minutes. You can smell it. You can smell the flavors come through. It's beautiful. You can smell the chilies, the ginger. So while that's sauteing, I'm just going to season my lamb. Now that it's up to room temperature, you can season it. You don't want to season it too early because you'll dry it out. Be generous, give them a good seasoning amount. Because most of that seasoning you'll lose into the pan anyway. That's smelling really good now. And you'll see that the onions have become nice and translucent. So you just want to pour that into a bowl, get rid of it all so that no little bits are left there and they'll burn with the lamb in, because you're going to actually raise the heat a little bit with the lamb. And just put that to one side because we're going to be adding that soon. Now I'm going to actually put just a little bit more oil in so that these lamb chops don't stick. And while that's coming up to temperature, you want it nice and hot. We're going to add them in. You want it to sizzle when you put it into the pan. Now you want to brown them off. We want to, sort of lock in the flavour. We've seasoned it, and you want to brown off all the outside before you add any more ingredients. So you'll know when the lamb's ready to flip, when you'll see a nice brown golden colour. So you want to flip them over. Also, be careful when you're flipping anything in a pan that has oil or fat or anything. Always turn away from you so it doesn't splatter all over your dress or your top. So flip it over and do exactly the same on the other side, nice and brown. These are ready, so I'm going to chuck your chili and onion mix back in. Get all that back into the pan. We're going to deglaze that with some red wine. Now, a cup of red wine you want to pour in. Then what you want to do is you want to burn off the alcohol and reduce that. So now this is nice and reduced, I'm just going to have a little bit of a taste. You can definitely taste the chili coming through, the garlic, the ginger, and it's reduced down nice and low. I want to add a little bit of a sweetener to it now, so I'm going to use some red currant jelly, and I'm just going to spoon in. Now you want that to melt. It's really thick jelly, so you need to sort of mix it around a bit. Do this to taste. Do it to your taste. Some people like it sweeter, some people like it less, so it's all about your taste. I've put in 1 tablespoon to start with. Now that's really sweet now, so that's great because I'm going to be adding more ingredients. Now for the plum sauce. I like to use the Dalmain one. It's a real strong plum flavour with a little bit of a spice through it, so it's quite nice. We're just going to use half a bottle. So roughly just pour it in and then save the other half jar for next time. So just give it a little quick stir around. Now just be careful because you've got your lamb necks in there as well. So just use them just to give it a good little push around the pan. An interesting fact that Cherry from the Sanitarium Nutrition Service told me about canned tomatoes is that they're a good source of antioxidants such as lycopene. I actually like to use the no added salt type as I've got a lot of salt in the dish already by me seasoning it. Last ingredient is your artichoke hearts. Now I've just drained them, cut them in half. Now get the ones that are good for cooking. So you want to place them in, push them down, give them a little stir. Now this is going to go straight into a baking dish and then into the oven, 180 degrees for about 45 minutes. You want to slowly cook these so that the meat just falls off the bone. That's smelling great. I think it's ready for the oven now. Now you want to put it into a casserole dish. If you don't have a casserole dish, you can put it into a baking dish and then just cover it with tin foil. Now when you're doing this, you don't want to just tip it all in and it splat everywhere. So grab yourself some tongs and just place in the lamb chops. Grab the artichokes, and then we're just going to pour the sauce over. Now pour it away from you, and then just pour it all over the lamb and the artichoke. Now this is just going to be covered and put into an oven at 190 degrees for about 45 minutes so that we slowly cook it. So while my lamb was cooking, I prepared some rice. Since I bought one of these rice cookers, I'll never go back to the old traditional way of boiling rice on a stove ever again, because they cook rice perfectly every time and I can go and do other things while it's happening. You don't have to watch it. So I'm just going to pack some into here, straight into the cup. Voila. Ready for the lamb. Be careful, it's going to be hot. All the sauce is thickened right up, which is exactly what you want. So you have a little taste. Beautiful. This is perfect. So I've got my rice in my plate here, and I'm just going to grab a chop. This is looking really good. Excellent. Last little bit of garnish. Got some chopped Italian parsley here. Sprinkle that over the top. Yum. This is a good hearty kiwi dish. For the recipes featured on tonight's show and the chance to win some fabulous prizes, see the Savour section inside tomorrow's Herald on Sunday. Next week we're cooking up a tasty pumpkin risotto, and I'll show you how to make a real crowd pleaser with my yummy antipasto tarts.